All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. Yesterday, South Carolina removed the Confederate flag. That's what they call it, the Confederate flag. Since then, I've done my own due diligence and my own independent research, and I've come to the conclusion that the flag that they actually removed was not the Confederate flag at all. It's just the designation or the name that they have actually given to it. Some people call it a battle flag. It's definitely not that. If they want to talk about the Confederacy and stuff, I think it was like 3 or 4 flags from what my researchers showed me, and neither one of those flags look anything like the flag that they removed from the grounds there in South Carolina. So nevertheless, it's been accomplished. Now, most people are chomping at the bits and want to know what my thoughts and my sentiments are about it. And I told you, I function after an alternate or different consciousness. Of course, then there's a lot of people out there that are actually saying that the South lost. And they did. And there should only be one flag flown over all of America in every state, which is the American flag. In that case, then, if you follow that line of thinking and we follow that rationale, then that means that every single state needs to take down their state flag and only fly the flag of the United States of America, which is the stars and stripes. Now we'll see if that happens or not, because it's utterly amazing what people do in order to deflect responsibility where it should be. I just don't understand, nor can I comprehend the way that people think today. I mean, it's off of the proverbial chain. I can't wrap my mind around it at all. The flag, even though it has a history and a very bad history at that. I've never seen so many of those flags like I've seen lately. Just the other night, I was out here getting gas, and if I saw one, I probably saw 20 of them flying on the backs of trucks up here in this little small town. They are draped over decks. They are all over the place. And I'm sure that many of the people that fly it have no idea of the history of it. They're just repeating or regurgitating or rehashing, just like many of you. That's how you function in life. You usually don't know exactly what you're doing. You just follow whatever mom and daddy or great granddaddy or whatever anybody else did, and you haven't really truly sit down and made your own choices and decisions. Well, I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of a man. And of course, the news media reported it as, removing a symbol, look at this, of oppression. And I said it a few videos ago. I said it in Canada. I'm going to say it here. If they're going to start removing flags that is a symbol of oppression, then from my perspective and my point of view, they need to start with the stars and stripes. They need to start with the American flag, because for my people, that has been the greatest symbol of oppression that there ever has been on this land. And I'm telling you, you look at the Iraqis of today, look at the oppression that they have undergone under that flag. The Native Americans, I can go on and on and on. But anyway, let me get back to the scope here. Now, I think that the guy that killed 9 members of a African American Episcopal church that went in there in a place of worship, a place of solitude, and decided to murder in cold blood 9 blacks. They said that the families was there during the ceremony there in South Carolina. And of course, everybody, that there's literally no professionalism in this country whatsoever at all. I mean, people are very immature, and you have diversities of opinions, diversities of groups, but make no mistake about it, America is every bit about 70-75% white, and it's ran by the white race. And I'm using those terms because that's what you understand. But for the people there in South Carolina, I want everybody, including you, to understand this. And I want y'all to try to follow my train of thought here for a second. The man that did these heinous crimes and these murders, and I personally think that he should be lined up and shot by the family members. That's what I believe. But it's totally irrelevant what I believe, because in this land we have laws, and most of you people are just simply not going to adhere to the laws, of the Bible. But I personally think that it's the family members ought to line him up and shoot him the same way that he shot those people. Hey, you may disagree, but I remember, before you people start going off with your Christian theology and perspectives and ideologies and stuff, I want you to remember this. Pastor Dow is a student of the scriptures, the Holy Bible. And I read this Bible, and I don't believe like the way that you have been trained and conditioned. I believe what their word says, not what religion says. So we're going to have two different perspectives there. The flag did not shoot those 9 people. And removing that flag is not going to remove the oppression that people are going to continue to suffer. That's just a fact. It's just not going to happen. It's a condition of the heart. It's lack of education. It's fuel that is continually to keep being thrown on the fire. And I tell you, there's just like in this country right here, there are gun violence that takes place all the time. And I don't understand why they continue to keep calling it gun violence. I know that the gun is what they use, piece of hardware, iron. I know that the gun is what they use to accomplish the crimes that they want. But the gun is not the issue. It's the people who choose to use these issues. I mean, if somebody starts going around and starts draping themselves with an American flag, and they start going around in public, because this thing right here, you won't believe what I can do with this. You won't believe it. You won't believe what a lot of my buddies, and I'm talking about Special Forces buddies, veterans, SEAL, U.S. Army Airborne, paratroopers, you won't believe what we could do with this one item. I mean, you never even thought about it. This right here is a very deadly, yet is used every single day. But this is a very deadly weapon. Now, it's a pen, but it could be a very deadly weapon if someone chooses to perpetuate evils and injustices upon someone. And most of you people don't think about that. So what should we do? We start banning writing instruments? Should we start banning pens? Because, after all, it could be used. And people just not fingering the issue here. The Confederate flag had nothing to do with the crimes that was perpetuated against these people inside the church there. Guns, while we have them, are you following me? And we use them for personal protection. Guns are not the ones that is committing the crime. I told you, I did a video the other day while I'm sitting in the truck, and I asked that gun to jump up off the dash and just start shooting people left and right. Everyone that I looked at, just start shooting them, and that gun did not obey me. And I'll prove it to you again. Here is my handgun. I'm gonna put it on his desk. I'm gonna show you how much that gun obeys. Now, Glock, I want you to shoot that computer monitor over there. Let's see what happens. Go ahead and shoot it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I don't think it's going to happen either. I don't think that gun is going to move. What said you? See, the politicians and everybody else in this country, they have got your mind so twisted and so distorted and so warped, you can't even function after a natural, common sense rationale. You simply can't do it. You simply just cannot do it. They have got you convinced that these are the problem. And the solution is to take it away. Just like they have gotten you convinced now that the Confederate flag is the one that actually in this day and in this time caused the deaths of those 9 people. And the way we're going to respond to this is do something about it. We're going to remove that flag. In other words, I totally disagree removing that flag under those pretenses. I really, truly do. I really, truly do. And I know what many of you blacks are going to say. Say what you want to say. You have life, liberty. You can pursue happiness. You have allegedly freedom of speech. But you don't have freedom of slander. But you do. And boy, what kind of country would this be? And the court system would literally get rich if we start turning around and taking people to court for defamation of character. You know what I mean? To start slandering. But none of us really have the time, money, or resources to make the federal government any richer than, or the state government any richer than what it already is. Sad part about it is that the flag did not create, or nor did it do that crime. And I think if we continue to keep going down this road to where we are blaming inanimate objects, to where we're blaming the things that people use to commit crimes, pretty soon, I'm going to hold that comment right there. I really truly am, because it's going to be greatly offensive to a lot of people. But it really comes from a very sick mindset. It really truly does. On the heels of that, the gays are really having a good time. They're giddy. They're having a wonderful time, and they're happy. Only one problem, though. Here in Tennessee, they're having great problems. And that problem is this. In Tennessee, they have laws to protect businesses against people who choose to exercise an alternative lifestyle. And they have actually posted on their doors banning gays from coming in. Of course, now the gays in the uproar, and the first thing they do is, what do? They have no power and authority on their own, so they run straight to the police, run straight to the legislature. And guess what? They can't do nothing about it. They can't do a thing about it because it's the law. Now, the next step is they're going to start vandalizing these properties. That's these people's property. That's what they're going to do. It's just that, in this country where people have been modified, GMO modified, fluoride in the water, vaccines that giving Americans autism at an alarming rate, herbicides, pesticides, and everything else. That the powers that be, it's obvious to me that they want a mind-numb, mouth-drooling society of people that just simply cannot think for themselves. And they're more comfortable like that, because that way all the workers can actually do their job, and the rich can get rich off your back. As I looked at the video, and I'm going to put a portion of it down here. It's a portion of the ceremony down here. You just check out the link down there, because I'm not going to sit up there and have these people start coming at me. But anyway, you look at the video, and what you start seeing is this. You start seeing all these people in the crowd. It's a mixed crowd. You see some people with their head down, especially the guy that actually has to receive the flag. There's a portion in there where you would actually see him with his head down, like as if, man, a piece of his heart has been cut out. But what about all of you people that function in these government professions? And if your conviction disagrees with a lot of these laws that are taking place across this land, can you, by conscience, continually to keep on going against your conscience for a paycheck? That's the real issue. That's where we're at today. And that is the $1 million question. How long can you continue to keep functioning inside of these state government, federal governments, where they're going to enact and support laws, and they're going to defend those laws, And remember, the federal government, the way it actually makes sure that it defends the laws is through firepower, through guns. They'll roll out the National Guard against the state. And I know, I'm serious. And they will force people, just like they forced the South to stop with all the segregation. Now, the South, that people want to call it heritage. You lost it. The truth is, and I know you may hate that, but the North literally whipped the South. Sherman ran through the South like a hot knife through butter. He did. Sherman did. I mean, Sherman tore the literal South up. And Sherman was no friend of black people, none whatsoever at all. He had a job to do, and he did it, and he did it well. I mean, and the South got literally annihilated. I mean, literally annihilated. The South was so desperate, they even had children out there fighting to try to stop this war machine of the Union. Well, the Union won. And now we have the stars and stripes as opposed to this created flag. And that's what many of you people need to know, is that this modern day flag that they're flying today, called the rebel flag, is a created flag. And it is a symbol of racism. And that's what it was used for. Because that flag that is flown today does not resemble any of the previous battle flags in the history of America. Now, you're going to take me on the chin. You're going to get upset. You're going to get mad at me. And you're going to disagree with me until you go do your own study. And of course, many of you will do just like religions do. I'm on here telling you the truth, be it social, political, or economics perspectives and point of views. I do that all the time in the areas that you need to know and I need to know that's going to affect change with us. But religious people are not interested in truth. They're interested in religion. Religious people are not interested in truth. They're interested in tradition. They could care less about what the truth says. They don't care about obeying the Most High. None whatsoever at all. They have a form of godliness and they deny the power. They don't care about it. So you can present truth to these people and it has no effect on them at all. None. And they won't change anything about their lifestyle for it. But they will maintain their position. And they will teach their children lies and deception. So now you have to ask yourself, what kind of people is this that really truly is in front of us? I think that South Carolina is being forced by the hand of the government, just like America is being forced to change its culture by the hand of the federal government, Supreme Court, to accept an alternative lifestyle that many people who are straight feel like that now their country, their civilization, the world that their children are going to grow up in is going to be perverse. And it is. And I told you, once the Supreme Court passed that gay marriage bill into law, once they did it and they judged it, it's going to open up. It's going to literally open up all forms of marriage in this country, and there will be no discrimination against marriage. So again, all you people out there that when you don't agree with what this Bible says, what biblical marriage is, because it's a Hebraic custom, when you don't agree, you come up with base arguments that really is nonsensical. Then you go and revert to the laws of the land. Now what are you going to do? When the laws of the land is going to be against what you disagree with. I mean, what you agree with. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do when everything changes anyway? Because the gays, they didn't care about the laws of the land. They were already practicing their lifestyle prior to this law being passed. Anybody that is a consenting adult, they're going to do what they want to do regardless of what you think. And that's what some of you people can't get through your thick head. Now, you can exercise the option to ostracize yourself and keep yourself from these people, but it's not going to change or sway one bit, because there are plenty of people that agree. That's like, I'm a preacher and you may not agree with what I preach and teach. And personally, I don't care. I really don't. I have my soul that I have to save. I have to make sure that my conscience is clear. I'm not out here to make sure that your conscience is clear. I've got one time to go through this life. And the Most High made me a preacher of righteousness. I don't preach for any church organization. I don't preach for you. I preach for him. But everyone that hears his voice, everyone that has the spirit of truth, when they hear me and then they go back and they do their own due diligence, they check it out, they find out I have the spirit of truth, and I'm not the one that has taught them fairy tales. I'm not the one that has lied to them. I'm not the one that told you that George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. No, I didn't. I'm not the one to tell you that a big fat man is going to feed all these people on the face of planet Earth. I'm not the one that tells you that a deer can fly through the air and pull a sled with a big fat man in it. I'm not the one that has reared you in fairy tales. I didn't like being lied to. I resented the fact. And I have the spirit of truth, and I'm going to continue to keep promoting truth and speak truth to power. And I'm always going to go against wind and tide. Because you know what I have that many people need today? You need what I've got, which is self-assurance. You see, because I'm a man of truth, I can look you right in the eye and tell the truth. And it doesn't trouble me one bit at all. I rest very well at night. I don't care about your opinion. You don't care about mine. What we should be, everyone that is of the truth, we should be for that truth and support that truth, defend that truth, and if necessary, die for that truth. Most of you ain't got the stomach or integrity to even live that. You can't even stand under the scrutiny of friends and natural family members. How you gonna stand under the scrutiny of truth? There's no way. You know, there's one thing that was said in history. It says, what is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. That's something that you need to take that pill and swallow every day. Hey, y'all have a good day. That's my prayer.